Welcome back on to continue talking about the Egypt-EU summit in Brussels. Well, here in the studio, it's a pleasure to have with us Engineer Mostafa Wali, founding member of the Egyptian European Business Council. Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you.
So, first of all, how do you see the impact of this partnership between the European Union and Egypt to strengthen and add more when it comes to the idea? We always say Egypt is the gateway to Africa, to Europe, to the Arab world. How far can this strengthen this image more and more?
First of all, such agreements, such meetings, such concept of the cooperation between Egypt together with the European Union as a big bulk in Europe, representing actually whole Europe, if we take off, of course, UK. But anyway, since those days where the idea of getting together more in cooperation between Egypt as the southern shore of the Mediterranean and the most important country historically and actually geographically in Africa, concerning all the interest of Europe when it comes to economy, when it comes to trade, what you name it. So this is a landmark in our economic history and in our relation with, of course, the closest friends and closest neighbor across the Mediterranean. It's a long story, and it's full of success stories. And here is now what I feel I'm really very, very happy, because the latest development in this direction is magnificent. And hopefully, and I'm expecting, and not only me, a lot of people, we are expecting a lot to come out of this latest development, culminated with this fantastic and very important visit of the Excellency Summit meeting between Egypt and Europe.
Well, there are many potentialities, and when it comes to this partnership, what other sectors that will be, let's say, that really we are focusing on? For example, talking about renewable energy, talking about education, many things when it comes to mutual cooperation between the EU and Egypt.
Well, the areas, these vital areas which you are talking about, kindly you mentioned it right now, it was actually the cornerstone of the long-term relation over the years and across history actually, between Egypt and Europe in general. By time and in the development process of, what are the areas where we can benefit together, we found it multiple and covering everything, starting from education up to, let's say, art even, when we exchange ideas, passing by all what is economically more important for both of us.
Including the industrial growth, for example, and looking for the sustainable development.
Exactly, And specifically, because the relation is between the part, which is European Union, who is highly developed in the process, in all this, achievement in science, in technology. And we are lucky, actually, if we can get as much as we can, which is available for us. It depends upon us in most of the cases. And we should be seeking it strongly and eagerly to get to it.
When it comes also to digitalization and involving the new generation and attracting more European investments, so how do you see the impact of such an event?
Well, if we look at the package of the elements or the how Europe developed, part of the first world, of course, development in science, in technologies. In the latest of all this culmination together, it's artificial intelligence. It's already there. So we should seize the chance, because it's offered to us and we can get it, and we are able to go through it, to get it. So it's open. The only thing no restriction for it. But our role is how we can get the best to make our generation, coming generation, youth, to get to these areas and get the best out of it.
Right, to continue talking about the economic side over the phone, it's a pleasure to have with us Dr. Yumna Hamaki, Professor of Economics at Shams University. Hello.
Hello, good morning, Nashwa. Good morning, Dr. Mostafa. Good to hear from you.
Good morning, Doctor. First of all, talking about this important event, how do you see its impact when it comes to the economic sustainability here in Egypt and aligning with the Egypt's Vision 2030?
Actually, the EU can be regarded as one of the most important partners to Egypt economically. And we have a partnership with Europe since 2002. Unfortunately, we didn't actually exploit this partnership properly well during this period. Why? Because still, if we regard the economic figures regarding our trade relation, we can see that we are exporting only 12 billion euros to the EU countries, and our trade balance is, in a deficit situation, which means that there is a very good potential to increase our export to the EU countries. Still, we have to talk about the competitiveness of our product, the demand in the EU countries. We know quite well that the regulations in the EU countries are quite tough, so that to cope with such regulations, we need a lot of efforts to be exerted, and we need technical assistance from this perspective. So, to our extent, technical assistance that we can get from the EU countries may help to achieve such competitiveness. These are the most important issues we have to talk about. Another dimension is about the labor market. The EU countries in deep need of skilled labor, and we have a very good opportunity for us in order to upgrade the skills of our workers and to have opportunities for them in the European market. So this is another part or another dimension of cooperation between the EU countries and Egypt. And I believe that in this visit, they have discussed and arrived to some agreements regarding the labor market and upgrading the skills. Another dimension is about the tourism. We need to arrange our agreements regarding potentialities of enhancing tourism from Europe. We have very good potentialities to do that and to address the challenges that may, confront such expansion of tourism. I believe one of the things that I am thrilled about it is that Egypt, after this visit, is going to be a part of Horizon. Horizon is a very important project, in order to enhance all types of renewable energy and upgrading skills and transferring technology. What I would like to shed the light on, Nashwa, that we need to exert more effort in Egypt here. We have institutional problems to capture all these opportunities. So what we need to do is not just by, having such ceremony of celebrating, more strategic partnership with the EU, but we need to have action plan, quite clear action plan, identifying roles and responsibilities of each minister, each institution, and following what's going around towards, because for me, the EU countries can be regarded as a very good potential, and vice versa. For the EU countries to Egypt is a good potential, taking into consideration all these challenges, geopolitical challenges. So this is actually a huge opportunity.
Right, talking about opportunities, Engineer Wali, talking more about its impact when it comes to job opportunities and working more on the challenges now in the region. What's the impact of this partnership on this sector?
Actually, this type of partnership, you can talk about different aspects regarding nowadays we have in our vision enhancing the potentialities of the industrial sector. For example, the industrial sector needs from us in Egypt here to be more integrated into international value chain. The European value chain is quite a strong value chain regarding different types of industries. So I believe that the integration of Egypt, enhancing the role of SMEs in Egypt, this is a big challenge for Egypt, and yesterday it was declared by von der Leyen that the EU is going to offer Egypt €5 billion in order to strengthen the situation of SMEs in Egypt. You know, we have, Nashwa, a big potentialities regarding SMEs, and unfortunately we are not taking care quite well with the role of SMEs.
I remember that we talked a lot before about the SMEs and the feeding industry, and maybe now I want also to ask Engineer Wali about this part in particular, because I was talking about the job opportunities, and we know that actually Egypt exerted a lot of efforts when it comes to the SME and the feeding industry, which are the pillars of economy in general.
First of all, let me show my appreciation and my pleasure of hearing Her Excellency Dr. Yon Hamaki. You know, it reminds me some fantastic days and hopes we lived more or less while I was in the Federation of Egyptian Industries. And I can remember honestly how keen and how serious and how she was so optimistic and so helpful in every position she was there, and I wish her the best. Thanks Dr. Yon. Anyway,
thank you very much.
Anyway, when it comes to what she said, Professor Hamaki said, when it comes for these specific areas, small and medium enterprises, now you are tackling something very important for the future of this country. It's the youth, because the more we enable our generation, youth generation, to be capable and mastering the latest in the world when it comes to educational backgrounds, expertise, and development, continuous development, and sustainable development, that is the most important for us. And I think Dr. Yom was really very correct when she mentioned this especially. I agree on this. It's part of what they have and what they are going to offer us. And also there is a new project, it's fantastic. I didn't hear about it before, it was just lately. It's Horizon, they call it Europe Horizon. And Lady Ursula von der Leyen,
yes,
she says that there is a chance, she said this in the meeting yesterday, that the Egyptian youth can make use out of this, what is offered in this way, in this initiative. That's to get any talent is there, needs support, needs whatever, it will be around, and she said it will be available. That's very important. A lot, of course. The only thing is that let's have our teams who can concentrate and work closely and earnestly and seriously to get more and more out of what's available for us from this partnership agreement. Now it is very important. It's comprehensive strategic partnership. I mean, you see that that's the official expression of how is our relation now with the EU. You don't find it actually between any other bilateral or multilateral Egyptian part.
Dr. Yomna Hamaki, talking about this important summit and again talking about the economic impact when it comes to the mega projects here in Egypt. For example, talking about the Suez Canal zone and other projects. How do you see it?
Huge opportunities regarding the economic zone in Suez Canal. We have very ambitious programs with the EU regarding renewable energy, regarding using hydrogen specifically, and with the line related with Europe in order to have a line of supporting energy for the European countries, as we know quite well. After the war, the Russian war, and nowadays the EU trying to diversify, the types of energy, and I believe that Egypt can become a hub for supporting renewable energy, and from here it comes that we need to connect, the line of supplying energy into the EU countries through Greece. All these mega projects, we are working on it, and we are working with Scatec, which is a famous Norway's company regarding renewable energy. We are working with France with a mega project regarding hydrogen, and I believe that Egypt can do quite well if we can, mainstream our scientific research. We don't know, Nashwa, to how extent we have a lot of scientific research in Egypt regarding renewable energy. If we can cooperate with the European side to exchange this scientific research and to upgrade the potentialities of renewable energy, this can make a big difference for both sides. And this is what we are looking forward for the coming period by having, I remember that I have participated in a program representing Ain Shams University, a program with Erasmus, exchanging scientific research among European and Egyptian universities. So if we can exploit the potentialities of R&D in our universities and scientific researches, we can add a lot towards having more inventions regarding renewable energy, because when it comes to renewable energy, it's a matter of R&D and to how extent you are successful to reduce the cost. This is the concept worldwide. So I believe that we have very good potentialities through Horizon and other projects in order to arrange our efforts for both sides for mutual benefits.
Engineer Wali, talking about, just as you mentioned now, green energy in general, moving on to climate change and the impact of this partnership when it comes to climate change and, of course, the sustainable development, again, aligning with Egypt's Vision 2030. How do you see it?
I see it could be a very positive element in the whole process of our development as a nation, as Egyptian nation. Because anything which is now under study and going in the process of development when it comes to climate change.
And water security as well, of course.
Of course, yes. Should be taken care of seriously. I mean, but it should be scientifically proved so that we will not waste time or waste capacities, waste the finance or whatever. Yeah. So let's be clever in this. So if we match where the other has ended, then we follow up. That's much better. And in this case, we will find something very evident now. Climate change now is affecting the shores, the Mediterranean, for example. There are a lot of studies show that there is, what you call retreat in the shores, inside in the dry lands, and a lot of unstable uh, phenomenon when it comes to nature in certain areas, especially when it comes to seas, particularly the Mediterranean. So anyway, that's something. But the most important thing, in my opinion, when it comes to how to make use totally of this partnership, which is now taking the largest as the most respectable and sincere of between a continent and a representative of a continent, which we represent Africa in this case. It is that to do our best to prove that we worth it, because we worth it even on our own, we can do this, but this will accelerate and will develop, will increase our productivity in this case. This can cover all the most important things. And in this case, this is a little bit personal, but it's true, that there were very successful initiatives, very successful programs adopted by the European Union some 20 years ago, and it worked out, and it was tackling specifically the, let's say, the capacity and creativity and the development of certain sectors of the industries, not all the industries. I witnessed this, and it worked well. Plus, there was a big initiative from the European Union to what we call modernization of Egyptian industries. That's projects which have been done, and it's over, but it can be renewed in a new way, in a new form. So to show that we have record, so let's be clever and make use of it.
So, Dr. Yumna Hamaki, finally, what's your input when it comes to the concrete steps to be followed after this important summit?
Actually, what we need, Nashwa, is taking into consideration what Engineer Mostafa has mentioned and what we have been through during the main topics. Actually, what we are always need in Egypt is a clear action plan. We need a clear action plan that the main goal of this plan is how to maximize benefits from such partnership, strategic partnership for both sides, you know. And I believe that it needs to be divided into several areas, like regarding industrialization, how to enhance competitiveness. By the way, the EU countries, they have a very ambitious, program towards enhancing competitiveness and productivity. Concentrating on R&D, we have very good potentiality to exchange, our researches for the benefit of both parties. And, this should be quite clear within a very clear roadmap. And we have investment maps for all our governorates that we need to work on it to enhance using our natural resources. Another way of thinking, concentrating on rare elements. We have very good potentialities, and nowadays rare elements are working a very significant role in the trade war. And we have the potentialities. Our mining resources are not in Egypt exploited to large extent. So by having more cooperation with European companies and the transfer of technology, we can do a lot. And regarding labor market, regarding the empowerment of women, we should prioritize what we need to do, and we should prepare action plan quite clear how to improve our competitiveness, how to address the trade deficit between the EU and Egypt. A lot of things to be done, but at the end, we need to see results, because we are not just keep talking and celebrating without having results. This is what actually I would like to emphasize on.
Wali, what's your conclusion or input on the whole event and the steps to be followed, of course?
It's another very important and progressive landmark in our relation with Europe at large for the benefit of our future, especially when it comes to our generation, new generations who are looking for a better future through better education, better economic situations, and this can never be done, this can never be achieved unless we get the best of cooperation when we have it.
Right. At the end, of course, we extend special thanks to Dr. Yumna Hamaki, Professor of Economics at Ain Shams University. And of course, thank you very much, Engineer Mostafa Wali, founding member of the Egyptian-European Business Council. Thank you very much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
And with this, we come to the end of our breakfast show for today. Thank you all for joining us. And stay tuned for more coming up on Nile TV International.